Hi there, my name's Anthony James. I'm a junk model maker. That means I make models out of junk and have done for about 20 years as a company called CREATURAMA. I work for film, television and theatre as a prop maker, and I work in lots and lots of schools and have done across the UK and beyond. I'm just going to do a little bit now about general model making techniques. So if you've already seen this on another one of my YouTube posts, then just fast forward to the bit where my shirt changes colour. That'll be the actual make. For those that haven't seen any of my posts before, I'm just going to do a little general piece about making models. The first thing you're going to need, if you're making them out of junk, is some scissors. These are my sort of medium-sized scissors, good for adults, but if you're working with children, what you want are these smaller scissors with the blue handles on. They're obviously different colours. If they're yellow and green in the UK, they're for left-handed people. If they're just one colour like this, they're for right-handed. Get that right straight off, because obviously if you're trying to cut with the wrong pair of scissors for you, you won't be able to make anything. Children particularly will think it's their talent that's at fault, so we don't want that to happen. They're sharp, be careful. Small scissors like this are blunt-ended, which is great, so they're not quite as easy to stab yourself with. Also, they're very good for cutting round corners, so for making smaller models, these are the scissors you want, particularly if you're working with children. And then, everything I build, and you can see some of my things behind me, is made with masking tape. Masking tape is fantastic stuff. You don't have to wait for it to dry, it's dry straight away, and you can paint over it. But there are ways to use it and certain ways not to use it. This is one of the ways not to use masking tape, particularly with children. Don't try and break it with your teeth. The first thing, obviously, you'll get it stuck to your lip and it hurts when you pull it off. That can make a child's lip very sore. It's also not very hygienic, so don't do it that way. The way I do it, and it's a very simple way, yes, you can use scissors, but I tend to find that slows you down. Just get the tape off, and you can see in my hand there, the sticky side's away from you. Put your thumb on the corner and pull. The tape will come straight off. It makes you very quick at making things. So I'm going to put that bit of tape there later on, because that's how to do it. Put lots of little bits of tape around so they're ready to use. I'm going to do it again. Put a bit of tape off. Put your thumb there, right in the corner. Don't worry if you bite your nails or you don't think you've got very long nails. Just press your thumb on really hard. It will still work and tear. And that's your tape. That's really all you'll need. Obviously some paints at the end of the make will be very good. There's all kind of different paints out there. Try and use a water-based paint if you're working with children, because that's easier to wash out of where they're going to get the paint all over. Obviously the way I'm going to show you to make models, you should have a surface that's quite easy to paint. There are lots of different makes of paint out there. I find acrylic some of the best paint to use. So that's really just the general model make. Now on to the actual building of, well, what you're going to make next. Off we go. Hello and welcome to another CREATURAMA make with me, Anthony James. We're going to make a Viking Longship. Now, the Vikings are incredibly successful because they had these incredible ships. Shallow keeled, they could pull up onto a beach, the Vikings could jump out and do a raid. They were like the stealth bomber of their time. So we're going to make, it's quite a simple make, and what you'll need to begin with is a cereal box. Now obviously I've got a cereal box here. Most cereal boxes will do this, any sort of cereal box. Just be careful that they're a long thin box like this one. So the first thing you'll need to do is get your scissors and just cut down the middle of the box like this. So you cut down the middle of one side all the way to the bottom like that, and then the same again, just straight down the middle of the box to the other side. So you're effectively cutting the box in half. Now, what you do now is you turn it round, because you want the shiny side on the inside of your Viking Longship. The next thing, and this is where it gets a little bit complicated, so have a good look at this. What you do is you cut a triangle out of the middle section of the box, like that. And I've got a little bit off that side bit there as well. I'm going to do it again just there. A triangle there, a little bit off the side there. So you end up with that shape, like that. That's very important. Now, we're making a Viking Longship, but this is how to make virtually any ship, because it's that shape. It can be the Titanic, it can be a World War I dreadnought, it can be any kind of ship. So I'm now going to use a bit of masking tape and just put it across there, and I'm going to pull the sides in like this, there and there, and once I've done that, if I just show you that, as you can see, look, we end up with that pointy bow of the ship, and then one last bit of masking tape just on the end to join the very front together, fold it over, and you'll end up with that shape. Now you can almost see there's the first half of your Longship. The next thing to do is to do exactly the same again on another piece of cardboard, so I shall very quickly do that. Cut that triangle out there, that triangle out there, get your masking tape, like that. You can have your masking tape pre-done all on the end of a table for you if you prefer, which makes you a lot quicker. I like just taking it off as per I need it so that I get the right size. Another one there, another bit of tape there. Pull that together, bend your tape over, and then put a little bit of tape on what is essentially the end of now the stern of the ship, bow being the front, the stern being the back, and just pull that together there, and there's the back part of your Longship. And all you now have to do, and you can see this yourself, is you're going to join that to make the keel of the ship. Now this join in the middle is very important. I tend to put tape all the way around. I'm going to put a bit of tape right on the bottom there. I know you probably can't see that, but now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the sides as well. On the inside, put a bit of tape over, like that. On the outside, put a bit of tape over like that. And then if you can as well, all the way around the bottom of the ship. So I'm going to put it over like that and put a bit of tape over the bottom there as well. It just makes it a lot stronger, and of course this joint now is the main weak part of the model, so try and put your masking tape all the way over, and the last bit here is the last part of the other flap from the box, and that really is the keel of the ship. Now, what you do now to make that lovely sort of banana shape to a Viking ship is you cut that out. So I'm just going to cut down about 1.5 centimetres all the way, and then just come back up again. And it's just little touches like that that make models very good, which otherwise would just be good. Just across there like that, back up again, like that. And there is your Viking Longship keel. You can see it's very easy and very quick to do. The next thing, you'll need a special tool for this. This is a single hole punch. Now you can use double hole punches, that's fine, but I find single ones very, very useful for lots of model making jobs. They're very cheap to buy, so just a single hole punch, and what you want to do is just cut some holes out along the side of your ship, all the way, about the same distance apart, but it doesn't necessarily matter where they are at the moment. Just cut a load like that, down the other side as well. If you can get them in the same position, that's great, but again, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to do that very quickly. You'll see why later. And there is the start of your ship. Now, the next thing is the mast. The mast is actually a very simple thing to do. What you do is you get a stick. Now, I've got some garden canes here, a load as you can see. Okay, so just a garden cane. I'm going to pick one to be a mast. That'll do. And I'm just going to stick that in the middle of the Viking ship's keel. You use the thicker end. And the way you do this, just put a bit of tape around the bottom of the mast, stick it in the middle, badly, because it will just fall over. It doesn't matter, that's actually how you need to do it right now. And I'm going to stick a bit of tape the other side, inside there, just on the mast. The same sort of thing, just push the tape round it. Don't worry about the fact that it's going to fall over. I knew that had happened as soon as I said that, but it will just fall over, and that's how you need it to be. The next job is to find a piece of cardboard for the centre. Now, I'm just going to see if I've got a piece of cardboard. I have got a piece of cardboard. This is not a little biscuit box, I think this was. I'm going to cut myself out just a nice piece of cardboard out of that, a rectangular shaped piece of cardboard. And I'm going to offer it up to the ship like this and measure how much I need. I need about that much. And here's the trick for this. What you do is you get your cardboard, fold it in half, and you just go snip and snap. And when you do that, you'll make a little hole. And it says pushing scissors through, which you can stab yourself or hurt yourself. That's a much easier way of making a hole. Now, you know it fits, you know it's got a hole in the middle. all you do now is put a bit of tape there, a bit of tape there, and you take that over the mast in the middle. Hold it so your mast is straight and stick it on and stick it across. Now the beauty of that is your mast now cannot move, and that's why I was saying earlier about it doesn't matter if it does that, because this is how you fix it on. That mast will now not move, and that's lovely. So we've got our mast, our central mast for our Viking ship. Next thing to do, some old string. Now, what you can do with this is tie it to one of those holes you've cut. So I'm going to just tie a little knot. If you can't tie, if you're very small and having to go at this, just use some masking tape, stick it on. But I'm just going to tie it through, just tie a little simple knot on there, because we're going to rig our Viking ship. A little bit of masking tape. Go to the top of the mast and stick it around like that, and then come back down off there. And get a lot more than you need, cut that, and now decide which hole to put that one through and tie that one. And that's the back or front, because I haven't decided yet, of the ship rigged with some rope. Just makes them look good, makes them look authentic really, the fact that they've got some kind of rigging. Tie that up nice and tight there. Now, you can see I've done it, left it a little bit loose, and actually my mast does lean that way a little bit. But the beauty of that is now, same thing, cut some string out, although what I'm going to do right away is just stick some through that hole there. Do a little knot, like that. Take it up to the mast. Now, because the mast bends a little bit towards the back that way, I'm going to pull it forward a bit and stick my tape round, because obviously now my rigging is doing the job it should do, and it's holding the mast straight. And that's really, if you've stuck your mast on it isn't quite straight, that's a good way of just making sure your mast is going to be straight. You just pull it straight when you're rigging it like this. I'm going to just tie that one off now. That. And again there. Good thing about these, if you get it wrong, you can untie them and do it again, cut them, do it again. And there is your ship rigged, ready to go. The next thing now is to make that very pronounced stern and very pronounced bow section of a Viking ship. To do that I use a kitchen roll, a cardboard tube from the kitchen, like that. Just, I'll move this out of the way so you can see. Just squash it like that, cut from corner to corner, all the way. Get some masking tape, put it half on and half off the bottom of that roll, like that. That's ready. I'm going to do the same with this one here. Bit of masking tape, half on and half off, like that, all the way round, stick it over. And now you make the bow or the stern of, so I'll say this is the bow, and I'm just going to put that on the angle I like it and press down. Like that. I can even squish it just to make sure it's stuck nicely. Same again with the stern, just push it on where you like it, press it down like that. There's your stern. Okay, I think that's okay. That one needs a little bit more tape, so if it needs a little bit more tape, put a little bit more tape on it. There we go. You won't see the tape when you paint it. And there is the main shape of your Viking ship. Now, the next thing we need to do, obviously Viking ships are also called dragon ships. We're going to make a dragon head for the bow of the ship. To do that, you'll need a toilet roll. So, toilet roll there, squidge it like that. And as you can see, I don't know whether you can see this in shot, but here's one we made earlier. So we're now doing this bit. Okay, there's the bit we've got so far. Okay, and we're now going to do this bit next. Now this is based on, there are two actual Viking ships found, which are, I think, are in Oslo now, in the museum in Oslo. We've got the Gokstad ship and the Osberg ship. This head was on one of those. It's like a beak almost. So what I'm going to do that is I'm just going to cut from corner to corner, but I'm not right into the corner. I'm about 1 centimetre away, just like that there. and then stick it together. And that just makes the start of the whole thing. That's the bit there that allows you to stick it onto the bow. And that's something we can build on, because that's a bit flimsy there. So this is a bit stronger to build something on. Then what we do, we get another toilet roll, which toilet rolls are fantastic for making models. Squidge, never been bad. Cut from corner to corner, and there's your beak as such, look, because there's your beak. Now that's a bit straight. So what I'm going to do is I squeeze it and I cut a triangle out the two sides. Use two little bits of masking tape and pull that together like that. So do it again there. Pulling that together. I hope you can see that there. You just get that triangle there and you just pull it together. Put your tape over, stick it down, and it just bends it into a beak shape like that. I'm going to do the same with the other one. Keep it folded flat. Cut a triangle out, snip, snap. Now stick it together again. Just those two triangles, stick those back together. A little bit of tape, I'm just breaking off a tiny bit of tape to do that. Press it down, pull your tape over. Press it down, pull your tape over. Like that. And there's your second part of the beak there, like that. Now actually, that second piece I did is longer than that, so I'm going to just invert it like this, so the top one is slightly longer than the bottom one. And there's our beak. How do you stick that on? Lots of tape, frankly. So, which is the bigger one? That's the smaller one. I'm going to stick the smaller one on first. Two bits of tape. And I'm just going to stick it there on one side, pull the other one in, stick that one there, like that. Press it on, make sure all your tape's pressed down. Whenever you make things with me, just make sure that tape's pressed down, because it's not doing anything unless it is pressed down. Top one, tape all the way over it, half on and half off. I'm going to snip some petals out, just snip the masking tape, and then that will just mean that that tape will nicely bend into position when you're folding it all in like this. And we are pretty much stuck together there. Now, what you'll find is once you've done that, you should end up with a bit sticking off the back of the head like that. That's what scissors are for. Snip, put it off, put a little bit of tape over the hole you've just made to make sure that it is going to be all covered up nicely. And that's now ready to stick on the ship. Bar one thing, you've got your hole punch, you might as well use it again. So here is an eye, just cut out, snip, snip, and you've got your two eyes as well, and that will go on here. Now you can see I've got a point there, so on the bow section, cut the point off, just like that, so that this can go on, and there, look, as you can see, is your Viking Longship. It's really as simple as that. Now, the next thing to do is to put some shields along the side. Viking ships have these shields locked onto the side. It's again a traditional look for the ship that we all know, I think, from storybooks, etc. The way to do it, there are two ways to do that. You can either draw your own shields on a piece of cardboard, cut them out, and use some split pin paper fasteners to put them through the holes that you cut when we first started, as you saw earlier. Or you can go to my website, and I'm going to have to move out of shot just to get this, and you can download these, which are some colour sheets of shields, and you can print them out on a piece of cardboard, cut them out as I've done, and attach them again with paper fasteners through your painted model. And the trick there is you want to paint it now, so before you put your shields on, paint your model, put your head on. I've made some little barrels here for supplies for the Vikings on a long voyage. So there'd be maybe some vegetables, maybe some wine or beer in one of these, not water because it goes stagnant, and they just sit inside the ship, just a nice bit of detail to go inside. And then cut your shields out, so I'm just going to cut a shield out here, very quickly to show you. Around we go, all the way. I've printed my shields out on some very thin cards, so find out what sort of card your printer can print on, and if you can print on card, it's going to be much better because they're going to be stronger. The trick with this is to just open your scissors. Don't push the scissors through, don't press on really hard. Get a piece of cardboard, thick brown cardboard's better, I'm just going to use this because it's on the table. Put your shield on, open your scissors, put it in the middle, and just twist once or twice, that's all. Don't drill for oil or anything like that, don't damage the table. Once you've done that, you've got your paper fasteners, slip pin paper fasteners, look. Put that through the middle of your shield. And here's some holes left in this one, ready to do this. Press it through. If you want to, you can stick these shields to a piece of card that maybe is black on the back, so you haven't got white bits showing. If you don't want to do that, just use a black pen and colour in maybe the top sort of third of the shield, so that actually when you look at it from the other side, because they'll be proud over the side of the ship a little bit, so it's black that side rather than glaring white paper. Then just put that on your ship and open your fastener at the back, like that. Like that. And you can put your shields on like that. And that's indeed what I've done on this one. You can see I put all the shields on. And really, that is your Viking ship. I painted mine brown, I painted the bottom bit with acrylic paints. I used a cadmium red and just a black mixed together badly, because if you mix them together you'll get that sort of wood colour, and just painted the whole thing with that, let it dry before I put my shields on with the paper fasteners, and you've got your ship like this. A nice finishing touch, I think, is this. Get your masking tape and choose another stick, a nice straight one. So I'm going to use this one here. And actually I'm going to make this a bit smaller. Now, children, if you're doing this and you're watching this, get an adult to help you with this bit, because this might need sawing or clipping. I'm just going to snap it very quickly, but get an adult to help you with that bit. Get a bit of masking tape and just stick that across the middle there. So I'm going to put a load of tape around. I haven't put enough there, so I'm going to get some more tape. And in fact with this, I'm going to get a thin bit of masking tape like that, like ripping it. I'm going to put another bit that way, just over there. And if you do that before you paint your ship, you can paint that masking tape as well, like that. So you've got something to support your sail. Now, here's a sail. I've just got some sugar paper here. And what you do, you get your scissors and effectively cut out a large tea bag shape. So it doesn't have to be brilliant. So I'm just going to cut a bit out there. Get rid of that. I'm going to measure it up against my ship. So, that's a bit too long, so I'm going to cut that bit off there. And when I say a tea bag, it's just basically a curve. There's a curve on the sides, like that. And a curve on the bottom, like this. Oh, I just ripped the end of that. So I'm going to cut it again. No worries, there you go. Okay, and now that can go on there. The way to do that, get your masking tape. Now this is where you actually cut the masking tape. Don't cut masking tape very often, but I always think they look better if they're cut nice, these. And what you do, just go along a piece of masking tape like this, and just go snip, 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 snip. Just keep going. Get a few like that. Already like that. And now attach those to your sail. Corners first. I'm going to do one in the middle, and then I've got 3 more, so I'm just going to place them equally like that. That means I've got to probably do one more for it to look nice and neat. There's my one more, just like that, look. So they do that before you do anything else now. Clear off a bit of table, get a marker pen, big marker pen, and just do some dots all the way around the edge. Dot, 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 dot. Dot, 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 dot. The reason you're doing this is you want it to look a bit like stitching. because obviously these things were stitched together, these sails. I'm going straight up there, straight up there, straight up there. I'm going to do another 2 lines, and you do lines really, straight up the sail. I'll pick this up and show you as soon as I've completed it. I'm going to do it across the top, just underneath where I've put those little bits of tape. Like that. So you end up doing that. And then once you've done that, this is fun. Draw a dragon. Now, have a look in a book, have a look on the internet, pull yourself down a picture of a dragon and enjoy this bit. I'm just going to do a silhouette of a dragon very quickly, just to show it's there. Very quickly. Big long tail, pointy bit at the end, big claws on the front, little claws at the front, and a big wing. Like that. Add some teeth. And these split pin paper fasteners. Put that through the middle of your shield. And here's some holes left in this one, ready to do this. Press it through. If you want to, you can stick these shields to a piece of card that maybe is black on the back, so you haven't got white bits showing. If you don't want to do that, just use a black pen and colour in maybe the top sort of third of the shield, so that actually when you look at it from the other side, because they'll be proud over the side of the ship a little bit, so it's black that side rather than glaring white paper. Then just put that on your ship and open your fastener at the back, like that. Like that. And you can put your shields on like that. And that's indeed what I've done on this one. You can see I put all the shields on. And really, that is your Viking ship. I painted mine brown. I painted the bottom bit with acrylic paints. I used a cadmium red and just a black mixed together badly, because if you mix them together you'll get that sort of wood colour, and just painted the whole thing with that. Let it dry before I put my shields on with the paper fasteners, and you've got your ship like this. A nice finishing touch, I think, is this. Get your masking tape and choose another stick, a nice straight one. So I'm going to use this one here, and actually I'm going to make this a bit smaller. Now children, if you're doing this and you're watching this, get an adult to help you with this bit, because this might need sawing or clipping. I'm just going to snap it very quickly, but get an adult to help you with that bit. Get a bit of masking tape and just stick that across the middle there. So I'm going to put a load of tape around. I haven't put enough there, so I'm going to get some more tape. And in fact with this, I'm going to get a thin bit of masking tape like that, like ripping it. I'm going to put another bit that way, just over there. And if you do that before you paint your ship, you can paint that masking tape as well, like that. So you've got something to support your sail. Now, here's a sail. I've just got some sugar paper here. And what you do, you get your scissors and effectively cut out a large tea bag shape. So it doesn't have to be brilliant. So I'm just going to cut a bit out there. Get rid of that. I'm going to measure it up against my ship. So that's a bit too long, so I'm going to cut that bit off there. And when I say a tea bag, it's just basically a curve. There's a curve on the sides, like that. And a curve on the bottom, like this. Oh, I just ripped the end of that. So I'm going to cut it again. No worries, there you go. Okay, and now that can go on there. The way to do that, get your masking tape. Now this is where you actually cut the masking tape. Don't cut masking tape very well, but I always think they look better if they're cut nice, these. And what you do, just go along a piece of masking tape like this, and just go snip, 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 snip. Just keep going, get a few, like that, already like that. And now, attach those to your sail. Corners first. I'm going to do one in the middle, and then I've got 3 more, so I'm just going to place them equally like that. That means I've got to probably do one more for it to look nice and neat. There's my one more, just like that, look. So they do that before you do anything else now. Clear off a bit of table, get a marker pen, big marker pen, and just do some dots all the way around the edge. Dot, 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 dot. Dot, 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 dot. The reason you're doing this is you want it to look a bit like stitching, because obviously these things were stitched together, these sails. I'm going straight up there, straight up there, straight up there. I'm going to do another 2 lines, and you do lines really, straight up the sail. I'll pick this up and show you as soon as I've completed it. I'm going to do it across the top, just underneath where I've put those little bits of tape. Like that. So you end up doing that. And then once you've done that, this is fun. Draw a dragon. Now, have a look in a book, have a look on the internet, pull yourself down a picture of a dragon, and enjoy this bit. I'm just going to do a silhouette of a dragon very quickly, just to show it's there. Very quickly. Big long tail, pointy bit at the end, big claws on the front, little claws at the front, and a big wing, like that, and some teeth. So there's your sail, and you can see actually I've put those bits of masking tape on the top of the sail, which is the straight bit. That's the bit we haven't got a curve out of on there. And now we're going to put that on the ship. What we do, we put it onto the mast, we put it on the front of the mast, like that, and just tie it over that top bit of the mast there, like that, and just fold them over. They're quite nice. If you've done a lot like I just have, they just look good because they're quite small, and they just look a bit more to scale. And there we are, they're on, that's ready. So there is your sail on your mast, on your Viking ship. The next thing to do, which is a nice little thing I like to do, get a little bit of tape and get the ball of string that you've got and just stick a little bit on one end of a piece of string, like that. Stick that to your sail. Come round the back of your model, like that. Take it round the stern bit there. Okay, and go up to the other side, snip it, because you just want what you need, and that's that bit there. Use your little bit of tape, and just stick that bit to the sail there. And that just actually pulls your sail into the right sort of thing for if it's catching the wind or like that. It just looks nice. And that really is it. That is your Viking Longship. You can have different sort of versions of this with different sails. You can do different motifs on the front of the sail, do a bit of research and see what the Vikings actually had. But that really is your Viking Longship. Enjoy making that. It's a fantastic make. It's very quick, very simple, lots of fun. You'll need a cereal box. You'll also need some old string, i.e. string that is just twine like this, not coloured, not green or anything like that, or plastic based or anything. Just some nice old twine like that, which looks the part to rig your ship. Toilet roll, kitchen roll, cereal box, bit of cardboard, and lots of enjoyment to be had. Enjoy your Viking ship, and thank you very much for watching.